All right, soldier. I see you on the other side.
Make it do what it do. Good luck.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Unsolicited Genius Live. We are going to get started in a hot minute. Just want to make sure everything is working as it should. Yep, there we go. This is what happens when you take a summer break. All right, so we are here. Welcome to Unsolicited Genius Live. For those that are returning to the show, thank you. For those that are new to the show, we do a live episode. What used to be another day is now today at this time. So wherever you are picking this up, East Coast, it should be about 9 p.m. Central, about 8 p.m. Mountain Pacific. Apparently y'all do what y'all want to do with the time change. So I think you all are 2 hours behind where I am. So give or take, should be about 6 o'clock in it. Wherever you are in the rest of the world, this day, this time is when Unsolicited Genius will be live for the foreseeable future. Short term, long term, we here. That being said, we record live on YouTube, so this is where you can find us, and then we clean it up, make it sound appropriate for anywhere your podcasts are found. So this is episode 46. We got 45 episodes on YouTube, 45 episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. That includes these exact episodes, Unsolicited Genius Live, but also include interviews, conversations with Carlton, and some other things just to keep y'all enlightened and entertained. So give us a couple seconds and we will get started with tonight's show. And we get started in 3, 2, 1. Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to Unsolicited Genius. I am your curator, Carlton Ennis. On today's show, we will talk about our lawmakers making news, Primetime's aversion to debacles, a debacle in primetime, and 50 years of dope rhymes and fresh beats. We hope to give you something to ponder. And we come back in 3, 2, 1. What is up, everybody? Long time no holler. Me, Joe Nitty, are back from our summer breaks. Much needed. Since last time you've seen me, the Texas heat has fried my hair. It's been too hot, too hot, too hot, too hot, too hot. And that's what's on my mind. Earth is rebelling against our behavior. In my opinion, period, point blank. First and foremost, condolences to Maui, condolences to Morocco, condolences to Libya. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of lives have been lost, infinite more impacted by things outside of their immediate control. Maui, there's some things that were known and clearly some unknown unknowns, some known knowns and some unknown unknowns. But end of the day, life was lost, homes were lost, lives changed for generations. My heart goes out to you. Morocco, Libya, outside of your control, Mother Nature is most dominant. So for those who have survived, blessings to you, those that have lost their lives and those that love those that have been lost. A prayer, my heart goes out to you. For the rest of the world, what are we gonna do? Paradise is literally burning. There's hot, dry fire. I'm here in Texas and the summer was brutal. Couldn't go outside, couldn't swim how we like, couldn't kick it how we like. It's too hot. It's too hot. Grass used to be green. It is completely brown. I've never seen it like that when it's not been winter. Other parts of the country, other parts of the world, unprecedented rain, unprecedented flooding, bridges collapsing, people drowning in their vehicles. Climate change, whatever side of the aisle you sit on, something has changed. Can we fix it with electric vehicles? Can we fix it with recycling programs? Can we fix it with wind turbines? I don't know. What I do know, what I do believe, is we do have a problem. There is a statistic that says in 2050, by 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. By 2050, there will be more plastic in our deep, vast, unexplored, mostly, oceans than there are fish. By that year, I will be 71. My son will be 40-something. And we're going to have stuff to do that, for me, should include the ocean. So at this point, at this stage, I am worried. I recycle, I conserve, sort of. I don't litter. For those in the know, what else can we do? Do we need to go solar? Do we need to go electric vehicle? But if we do electric vehicle, will that still place a demand on our electric infrastructure? Will we still be using fossil fuels to provide the electricity to the vehicles? I don't know. I am no environmentalist. I did a little bit of science back at the University of Florida, but I am unequipped to provide solutions, but I can articulate we probably got a problem. So if you know what we can do, put it in the chat. If you have suggestions, post it on your Facebook, post it on your Instagram. We need guidance. I like it here. I like this planet. Elon Musk, a couple other folks got spaceships exploring Mars. I ain't interested. I want to make the most of the planet Earth while I can with all that it has to give us. So I'll leave it there. Again, condolences to those impacted by the tragedies in the peak. We're in the heart of hurricane season. Some more to come. We are not done. Get your supplies, get your water, have your strategy, have your plan, talk to your family, talk to your loved ones. Make sure you're in the know on where you're going to go when the storm comes your way, if the storm comes your way. All right, that's what's on my mind. So again, Unsolicited Genius, headlines. We got a lot of politicians in the news, a lot of political activity over the summer, a lot of political activity today. Starting with subject matter number one, Donald Trump. The former president has 1, 2, 3, 4 cases that he is facing, criminal cases he is facing. One being the January 6th insurrection case. He is facing 2 felonies. The Georgia election interference case, he is facing 13 felonies. The classified documents case, 31 felonies. The hush money case, 34 felonies. My count, that's 80 felonies in total. Now, when asked the question, are they after him? Yeah. He rubbed a lot of people wrong. He's still rubbing them wrong. So are all 80 warranted? I don't know. Suffice to say, probably not. Is Donald Trump a bad person? I don't know. I do know he needs a hug. He needed a hug a long time ago. He is the epitome of ego out of control. Does he deserve to do time? He did a lot of, he's charged with committing a lot of crime. What I do know is he probably would have benefited from some better decision-making, better people around him, less enablers, more guidance, if he accepted it, right? I think he has exhibited that he is the personality type that probably doesn't receive feedback very well and insists on doing what he wants to do, which is fair. So in that regard, he's going to have to face these cases. But I ask for those who believe in him, who support him, who align with his ideals, what about him makes you want him as your president? I've said it here before, back in the day, I wanted on his show. I wanted to be on The Apprentice. He had me believing. Now, since then, things have come out. Maybe it was a farce, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. But I was all right with Donald Trump. So my feelings are not personal. They are that he's not who I want for president. He's not. Can't. Too much stuff you're saying, dude, just don't make sense to me. And that's not what I want representing my interests to the world. But that's just me. Clarence Thomas. Clarence has been compromised. A Supreme Court justice inadvertently omitted private trips, inadvertently omitted the fact that he had private school tuition paid for a family member, inadvertently admitted that special interests purchased a home for his mother. Always got to take care of mom. Any opportunity for mom to live, breathe, exist without burden, in this case, rent-free, you want to pursue. But do you want your Supreme Court justice having billionaires, gazillionaires, having their interests attended to in order for Clarence Thomas's mom to have that lifestyle? Not your Supreme Court justice. From where I sit, how can I trust anything that comes from them? How can I trust any decision and believe that it was decided in my best interest, the best interests of me, my family, my son, my community, my city, my state? You got the hot topics like abortion. You got the hot topics like voters' rights. You got the hot topics like redlining. You got the hot topics on top of hot topics on top of hot topics that affect us all. And if Clarence Thomas is compromised, you think he's the only one? Probably not. Georgia Senator Nikki Merritt said, Justice Thomas likes to talk about the myth of pulling himself up by his bootstraps and being resilient. Yet he's benefited from handouts from these white conservatives who have supported his privileged lifestyle, making him a traitor and a hypocrite in her eyes. What are you supposed to do when the top lawmakers of your land are compromised? When the top makers of the land are compromised, what is the true condition of that land? United States, we are not so united, and the people that are supposed to help us get there, they're not lining up. They're not doing what they said they would do, the oaths that they've taken. Mitch McConnell, 81 years old, twice now, has frozen on live TV. Yet his handlers and his enablers tell us he is fine. I want Mitch McConnell to go ahead and get well. I want him to be well. I don't wish evil bad outcomes on anybody. Agree, disagree with your politics. It's not a good look. He is one of our top lawmakers, influential lawmakers, the key point of resistance in Obama's administration, the key point of trying to figure stuff out during Trump's administration. And he and his colleague, Joe Biden, are aging right before our eyes. His age is coming. Age has got a hold on Biden too. He is 80 years old, and Uncle Joe don't function the same way that he used to. He is not the man as president that he was as vice president. But lo and behold, Mitt Romney once again stepping up to the plate by stepping down in 2025, saying it is time for new leadership. It is time for him to step out of the way and allow someone to come in and fill in after him. What would it take for his colleagues to follow suit? Because Mitch McConnell is not the oldest, yet he pursues. There's a formal impeachment inquiry that has been launched against President Joe Biden under the belief that there have been serious and credible evidence that he played a role in or benefited from the overseas business affairs of his son, Hunter Biden. There is no evidence just yet, but here we are. I am of the opinion that the waste of taxpayers' dollars is occurring on both sides. The Republicans may perpetuate the behavior. The Democrats enable the behavior. I believe it is all with the intention of justifying their positions, creating headlines that they can point to when they campaign. Maybe I'm wrong. So with all this list and going down just a few things, because you got somebody running who got not quite an OnlyFans, but similar to an OnlyFans with her husband. There's a debate as whether or not she should be allowed to run. You got people robbing, you got people stealing, you got people lying, you got people that say they were somebody that they aren't, all in our politics, all at the hands of our lawmakers, all in the behavior patterns of our lawmakers. I say it that way. So what's the point? We the people, we got to do better. We got to expect better. We got to demand better. We got to vote better. This is a democracy. There are good people out here doing great work, but we have some misbehaviors getting in their way, getting in our way. Infrastructure, bridges falling apart, bridges are collapsing. Homeless population is booming. Fentanyl and drugs worse than fentanyl are roaming the streets, taking lives on a daily basis. Schools are having sessions, are having assemblies with the Black children, telling them, offering candy and Chick-fil-A in order for them to perform better on their standardized testing, to encourage them to perform better on their standardized testing. Teachers are underpaid, physicians are overworked. Cars are still polluting the air. The auto industry is about to go on strike. We got some problems, America. We got to do better, America. But it's up to us as individuals to start where we are. You start local, your local has influence on your state. You work on your state has the influence on the national has impact on the presidential has impact on the Supreme Court. It can be done. We have in us the ability to do it. In my coaching practice, as I work with the clients and the individuals that I work with, I emphasize starting inside out. We got some ugliness happening in our country, and our lawmakers are perpetuating it. And as much as I pointed out, I got to start with me. You got to start with you. There's activity in my community I can participate in. I can provide support to my son's school. I can make sure that I vote all the times that I'm supposed to vote, local elections, national elections. And where I am, just be the best version of me as best I can. And encourage those around me to do the same. We can do better. We got to do better. Otherwise, it's just going to get worse. On that, we take a break and be right back. We are on break, ladies and gentlemen. Give us 1 second. This is where Joe Nitty, the super producer, will be airing his commercials. Yep. All good, all good. If you have comments, anything you want to articulate, anything you want to share, go ahead and throw it in the comments. All right. We'll be back from break in 3, 2, 1. This is Unsolicited Genius. What in the sports? Football is back, ladies and gentlemen. That's, the summer's over. Everybody's back at work, back from vacations, teachers back in school. So that means the streets are safe again. But on the tail end of all of that, we get football. And there's parity in both NFL and college football right now. Where do we start? Selfishly, I am who I am. Go Gators. Not so much that first game against Utah. Got Tennessee this weekend, so we'll see. Go Gators. The SEC is getting beat up. The dominance in the SEC maybe ain't so dominant. UT smashed Alabama. Florida State smashed LSU. Utah embarrassed my Gators. Georgia is holding the SEC down. I can't even begin to talk about all of the conference changes and who's going where and who's leaving where. We're going to have to bring Uncle Mo in on that discussion. So we'll come back to that. But there is parity. Georgia got it. After Georgia, I don't know who it's going to be. Always talk about Ohio State. Always talk about Michigan. Maybe. But what about Primetime and Colorado Buffaloes? How far will they go? How far can they go? How much more can the NCAA take of Primetime showing them up every time? Anybody who knows me well knows that my favorite athlete of all time is Mr. Deion Sanders. If I had if God said I can tap you on the forehead and you can have the athletic ability of anybody on this planet that ever was, for me, that would be Deion Sanders. I love the way he played football. I love the way he played defensive back. I love the fact that he had the ability to star in 2 sports. I love that he had the ability to play in 1 game and ball in 2 positions. And he has taken that limelight, his shine, his brightness. He has taken it to the HBCU football game, and he is now in the big leagues. And so far, they doing it. 2-0. First team they beat was TCU was in the college football championship last year. Now, they got debacled, but they were there. They had expectations coming into this year. Nebraska, a rival. Nebraska, trash talker. Smashed. And he's doing it, coaching his son on offense, coaching his son on defense, and coaching the rest of those players as if they were his sons. I don't know, man. Deion might be given a blueprint for how to make a successful football team from day one, because I can't see him going backwards. Do I anticipate that they win all their games? No. It's a tough league. There's parity today. UT, Texas beat Alabama. So I don't know what the future will hold for the Buffaloes this year. I know they got a lot of new fans. But in just these 2 games, Deion has showed what God can do for his believers, what love can do from a coach for his players, for players for their coach. And when pride is placed in its right position, it can be a hell of a motivator. And what I appreciate about Deion's approach is he is going to highlight the hypocrisies in the system. There is no excuse, University of Florida. There is no excuse, University of Nebraska. All you new coaches, all the excuses, all the reasons, all the shenanigans that unfold under your purview. Primetime showing you there is no excuse. Turned over a roster, believe 87 players. He said 20 of them, they said had to go, 40 or so quit. 60, I don't know, I'm gonna check my math, Joe Nitty. But he didn't get rid of them all. Some of them got rid of themselves, but needless to say, he had to bring in a whole new squad from the portal, from Jackson State, from however which way they came. And he galvanized those troops to perform for him. So let's see. I'm excited. No predictions just yet. I'm just hoping the Gators beat Tennessee on Saturday. So that's as far as I go, personally. The NFL. Where do we even begin? Let me start with the props. How about that? Begin with the props. from Miami, love Miami, everything Miami. I am no Dolphin fan, but I'm proud of them boys. They look like a high-powered offense. And it has been a long time since I've heard a conversation from anybody that included Super Bowl and the Miami Dolphins in the same sentence. So if y'all boys got it, go get it. It is impressive. It is impressive what you did in week 1. Please keep Tua healthy. Please block for Tua. And go get it. Represent the city. The Detroit Lions. Clap, clap. Y'all did that. Make the playoffs, though. Come on. Your fans deserve it. Make the playoffs. It's been a long time. Win a game in the playoffs. How about that? Like the week 1 performance. Like the energy. I love your coach. Win a playoff game. Keep it going, win a playoff game. Keep it going, win a playoff game. The Browns, Cincinnati, interesting game. No judgments. Let's see what we see. Just give it some time on both sides. Browns, I got some homies that love you, so I ask that you keep it up. They need it. I don't say they need it. They want it. They want it. They don't need it. They want it. It would be a nice to have to see the Browns shake some things deep into the playoffs. Give it to your fans. It's been a long time. What else did I see? Let's see. We'll see what happened with Philly. I'm not cheering for them. Let's see what happens. Oh, how could I forget it? The Jets. I'm sorry. From one sports fan to another, I wish that on no team. All the hype, all the offseason talk, all the hoopla, all the conversation, all the interviews. Aaron Rodgers. Who? Hard Knocks, Aaron Rodgers. ESPN, Aaron Rodgers. NFL Network, Aaron Rodgers. CNN, Aaron Rodgers. Probably Fox News, Aaron Rodgers. 75 seconds and he's done. But kudos for winning the game. I don't know what's up with Josh Allen. He on the cover of Madden, but I don't think you could blame the Madden curse on that performance. Those are some shenanigans. Now, those who know me know that I am a New York Giants fan. Full disclosure, my feelings was hurt. I felt myself getting emotional watching that debacle at the hands of the Dallas Cowboys. But I guess that's what I get. I went to church on Sunday, and the minister is a Cowboys fan, and I told him I wish him good luck to us. He said, I hope you win. I know we will win. And by golly, he was right. Embarrassingly so. I can't even call it. I've heard what the experts said. Offensive line, we don't have enough talent. Daniel Jones is not the man. Coach Dable is still in his honeymoon period, blah, 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 blah. That was a slap down, beat down on primetime national TV for the entire football world to see. A record-setting underperformance. 40-0 on opening night, on opening day, opening week. Why play the preseason? One opinion I have is that my Giants did believe the playoff hype. Amazing accomplishment under all the circumstances to not just make the playoffs, win the playoff games, clap, clap. But somehow I think they thought it was just going to be handed to them, that they was just going to walk back in there like that. Or we just suck. And if we don't suck, we for sure sucked on Sunday. Mm, 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 mm. Had me questioning why. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I sit here, watch these games with no influence on the outcome, no influence on what they do, how they show up, what the place, what the scheme is, what the confidence is, what the courage is, what the pride is, what the plan is? Don't have nothing to do with me. I just throw on a shirt, clear my surroundings, and zone in. On Sunday, I got my feelings hurt. But I do have choices. As a coach, I work to enlighten my clients about the choices that they have available to them, that they don't react to life's events by default, because that's what they used to do, how their mama did it, how their daddy did it, how we've always done it, blah, 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 blah. We have choice. I choose to be a New York Giants fan. I choose to sit my butt down in front of a TV every Sunday, or well, Thursday, Sunday, or Monday when they play. I have not missed a New York Giants game since 2004. Even in traveling, I make sure I can get it on the airplane. I make sure I can watch it at the airport. So I do have a choice in the matter. And I think it's them Super Bowls feel so sweet. I think that's what it is. 86, 90, Whitney sung the national anthem. And then them two that Eli got against the Patriots. So I'm in it to win it, whether we win it or not. I'm in it to win it, whether we win it or not. Thank you to those who checked on me, offered their condolences. For those that clown me, your day gonna come. I don't even have to do it, but your day gonna come. Cowboys. Are you entertained? So I guess we celebrating it all year. I don't know, because there's not been like one birthday celebration, but hip hop turned 50 this year. And on this show, we talk hip hop. We talk music, R&B, country, binaural beats, but we also talk hip hop. So I thought in 50 years in celebration, I could speak to what hip hop means to me. Hip hop has been a major influence in my life as far back as I can remember. My first tape I think I ever purchased was the Fat Boys, and made all efforts I could to beatbox. Then I think my next, there was LL, Run DMC. My cousins used to have the stereo on the shoulders, and we did some break dancing, electric beats, Beach Street, Crush Groove, a bunch of inputs. But my next favorite artist, my fandom continued with Kool Moe Dee. I loved that Wild Wild West. And then after Kool Moe Dee, I was a Hammer fan for a while. I remember Hammer had some beats in the beginning, and then he took over the world with the showmanship, with dancing and the energy that he brought. Went to a Hammer concert. My homeboy touched his hand, said he wasn't gonna watch it, but he watched it eventually. But then after Hammer came NWA. What would you say? A stark transition, but Ice Cube, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre ran. They spoke to me. I heard them. Probably middle school age, so not the age that I would want my son, the music I would want my son listening to at that age. And my mama watched the show, so I guess she finding out now. Yes, I was 11-ish when I discovered NWA and knew every word for word. I just didn't play it in the house. When I went to the homie's house, yes, for sure. A couple times I played it, turn the volume real low. But NWA is where life started to shift for me. Followed by Snoop and Dre with the Chronic. There was some fool schnickens in there. La Smooth, and we ain't got nothing to prove. La Smooth. I thought Shaq was live. Shaq played basketball, Shaq could rap, and he got with the fool schnickens. I thought that was pretty live. Pete Rock, CL Smooth, Yo MTV Raps. Whoever came on Yo MTV Raps, I heard, I saw, I took it all in. Some I liked, some I didn't, Kwame with the polka dots was live. I didn't take to Mobb Deep. I didn't take to certain artists around this time. I was slow to embrace Wu-Tang. I love them now. That series is the jam. But I'm from Miami. We had Uncle Al, Poison Clan, Two Live Crew. Needed a beat, needed something I could dance to, needed something I could move to, something I could connect to a rhythm to. So in 1994, my life changed when my homie Willie introduced me to Outkast. He said, you might like these guys, check them out. They had me at boom, 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 boom. This is Peaches, and my life has not been the same since. Outkast became my rhythm. Outkast became my beat. NWA, Snoop, Dre, the Dog Pound, loved them, loved the music, loved the rhythm, loved the beats, loved everything. But the lifestyle that they projected was not me. Didn't align with who I saw myself being, who I saw myself as, or who I saw myself becoming. But Outkast was my rhythm. Outkast was my tune. From Outkast, Goody Mob came. From Goody Mob, Dungeon Family. Over time, we get Killer Mike. Who else did we get from? I don't know what else we got. Big Boy solo albums. We got some other people out of Dungeon Family, but we got Atlanta, right? We got Atlanta. So we get from Outkast, we got Dungeon Family, Goody Mob, but then we got T.I., then we got Ludacris, and then we got all them other folks. And eventually we got who we get today. Who I neglect and all that. Biggie, Pac, number one, number two. Pac, number one, Biggie, number two. In terms of rappers, in my book, Biggie, Pac, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, 3 Stacks, all, and the list continues. We could debate one day, or we have debated when we would continue to debate. But hip hop has been the soundtrack to my life. On my good days, it kept me going. On my bad days, it picked me up. On my frustrated days, it gave me clarity. Before a test, before a football game, it gave me motivation. It gave me inspiration. I did make the mistake in my adult life of playing DMX on the way to work. I do not recommend that for anybody. You should be kind to your coworkers. You should not have images of them getting bit by the dog. Arr, arr. Rest in peace, X. Hip hop was romance. Hip hop was anger. Hip hop was love, is love, was love, is predicated on love. When I look at what hip hop started 50 years ago, I wasn't there at the beginning, came a couple years later. But where hip hop was in the 80s and the 90s is not where anybody thought hip hop would be today. From where I sit, hip hop runs the world. It dominates the charts. It dominates the Grammys. Its influence is in country. It is in rock. It is in pop. It is in South America, North America, Africa, Asia. And there's probably some polar bears bopping to a beat in Antarctica. I love hip hop. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for what you do. Now, probably some controversy on where it is today. We'll talk about that on another show. But for 50 years, the music from the oppressed has created freedom for us all, giving us opportunity for freedom for us all. Love your hip hop. On that, like to talk about what you're listening to. So under Are You Entertained? What are you listening to? I listen to Ghostface Killer. Judge me if you want. I was not a fan of the man. Had never listened to an album from start to finish until 2 weeks ago. And I am upset that nobody told me about Mighty Healthy. That is my jam. So I listened to Iron Man and Supreme Clientele at the advice of my music crew. Iron Man was good. It was all right. I see why y'all like him, why y'all love him. But that Supreme Clientele, he did that. He did that. He did that. So I'm late to the game, but I own it. Ghostface Killer is that man. I respect the technique. So shout out to Wu-Tang. Shout out to the Wu-Tang fans. I am a full believer now. Method from back then, RZA from back then, Raekwon more recently, and Ghostface Killer today. And then the rest of the crew, you know, ODB, Genius, Master Killer, all them, you know. I'm with it. I'm with it. I get it now. I get it now. What have I been watching? What have you been watching? What have I been watching? So I turned off the Giants game in the third quarter. I couldn't take no more. Couldn't do it. I was done. Couldn't do it. I was done. I couldn't do it. And I decided I'm going to work from the inside out. I am not going to let myself suffer like this no more. No more. I will not go to bed with this energy. I will not be mad. I will not be sad. I'm going to wake up on Monday full of joy and energy. I am not going to let my New York Giants underperformance impact who I am for the rest of this week. So far, so good. So what I did to lift my spirits was watch the movie Life, starring Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. For those that have seen it, I know you love it. For those who have not, sitting back for the 20th time plus the umpteenth time that I watched it, I sat back and took it in this time. From my point of view, Life is an artistic masterpiece. One, because it shows the treachery that Black people underwent in the early 1900s through comedy. In a lot of ways, there's some sadness in the movie, but man, if Martin and Eddie don't make you laugh. From the sets, the landscape, the scenery, the wardrobe, the costume, it takes you there. 1932 Mississippi, I believe, is where most of it takes place in the story. And you're there. You are in a prison yard in 1932 Mississippi with Eddie, with Martin, with Bernie Mac. May he rest in peace. Bernie Mac's role, if they were giving Oscars to true supporting characters, he would have got something. He transformed himself. Jang-a-lang, jang-a-lang. All the sayings, don't be scared. You gonna eat your cornbread? We got from that. Pop culture took from Life. The soundtrack was hot. Jodeci in the background. And what I really came to appreciate is in the creation of character, Martin, Eddie got to let their light shine in the creations of these roles, in the creations of their characters, in the physical humor of Martin that he always did on his show. He put all in the life. Eddie Murphy's acting ability, his ability to transform his face to look serious and then say something that just don't make no sense that he said. But he did it. His sharp tongue, his sharp wit. It's an amazing movie. It's an amazing movie. So if you need your spirits lifted a little bit and you haven't watched it or it's been a while since you watched it, check out Life. They did good. They did us good with that one. And before we check out, what have you been reading? Book club, we finished up The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, Haig. It is a compelling fictional story about regret. When I talk books, I do not reveal the plot, but what I gained from it is the life you are living, the life I am living, the life we are living, is the life we get. It's what we get. It's what we got. It's what we look like. It's how tall we are. It's how bright we are. It's how gray our facial hair is. It's what you do well. It's what you don't do well. It's what you like. It's what you don't like. That's your life. Nothing to change. Nothing to be different. It's our life. And in this life, we can be and achieve whatever we are. If you're a doctor, you could be a great doctor. If you're a lawyer, you could be a great lawyer. If you're a singer, you could be a great singer. If you're a writer, you could be a great writer. If you're a super producer like Joe Nitty, you could be a super producer, a teacher, a father, a son, an uncle, a brother. All these things. This is our life. We got it, and we could be whatever we want. Wherever we are, however we are, it's for us to do, it's for us to be. The multiverse is inside of you. You are limitless. So release the regret and go get it. Go get it, go get it, go get it. And we'll take a break and be right back. All right, we get y'all out of here in a second. We'll be back from break in 3, 2, 1. Before we get out of here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow Unsolicited Gems. You're watching right now on YouTube, but we are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We are on Twitter. We are on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. All the social medias. Unsolicited Gems is there. And if you don't see it, hit me up. I'll point you in the right direction. Shout out to super producer Joe Nitty. If you've seen the promotions, that's his duty. That's his work. He was on vacation this summer, but he was still putting in that work. So shout out to my super producer. Thank you for making me look good, or at least doing the part that you can, right? You can't cover up everything. Thank you to our sponsors, Legacy Wear, going strong, your legacy waste. You can find them at www.legacywearus.com. Megacore CBD, broad spectrum hemp derived CBD, the way nature intended. You can find them at megacorecbd.com. Our rainwater, look, we are in a water crisis worldwide. Our Rainwater is pursuing that solution. Find out more about them at ourrainwater.com. And me, Carlton Ennis, I am a professional life coach. I work with individuals. I work with groups. I work with leaders. Whether you're a corporate leader, executive leader, entrepreneur leading your business, a pastor leading your church, a father leading your home, a mother leading your home. male, female, younger, older, what's older? Mature, younger, mature, seasoned, experienced, inexperienced. Holla at me. www.carlton.co. I represent a company now. carltoninnisco.com. Shout out to Uncle Mo and Brother Craig. They are out there. They are not gone. We got some stuff brewing for you. Just prepare yourself. They are here. They will be back. So before we call it a night, thoughts of genius. So one of the summer events that I did not mention yet was our Alabama boat party. Shout out to shout out to Scuba Gooding Jr., the Aqua Black man. Listen, that Alabama situation, the fight, for those who are aware, earlier this summer, there was an altercation between some boaters, a security guard, and a sea of Black people. First and foremost, I do not condone violence. You have to understand it only takes one punch to take a life. You don't want that on your conscience. You don't want to be in jail because of that. You don't want to be the reason somebody is no longer here because you were not able to control your emotions. Whether that be the instigators and the bolters, whether it be the people who responded in support of the security guard that the bolters jumped. Got to be careful, man. It is not worth that. Not saying y'all should have did something different. I'm just saying, you got to know that. Murder, manslaughter will put you away one way or the other. It's not worth it. That being said, what that dynamic displayed to me is that America is who it is and who it has always been, and the whole world got to see. What you saw was Black people versus white people. What you saw was privilege, the perceived privilege being infringed upon. What you saw was Black people recognizing the unity that we have in the disenfranchisement of this country. Hurt one, you hurt all. And that was on full display. And I say, it don't have to be that way. Science has proven that we are of one species, that we all centered from Africa as we migrated out, up, down, further away from the equator. Climate, temperature, sunlight called for a change in our pigmentation. Yet and still we have similar brains, have similar organs, have similar bodily functions. We are all Homo sapiens. Can we all just get along? It would be nice. You don't got to be a Giants fan. You don't got to like the Miami Heat. You can love Florida State. I don't have to love you any less. You can like boating. You can want to dock your boat where you want to dock your boat. But when a bigger boat need a place to park, move out the way. What's the problem? There's other places to dock your boat. There's other places to dock your boat. You may have higher tolerance for taxes, lower tolerance for promiscuity. You don't got to hate the person that's on the opposite side of the aisle from you. You don't got to fight the person from the opposite side of the aisle from you. You don't have to think and perceive yourself as being better than the person on the opposite side of the aisle of you. At its core, that is all ego-driven, misguided behavior, a complete misunderstanding of our purpose and our presence for just simply being here. Life is beautiful, earth is beautiful, but when you hate, you're missing out. You're missing out, you're missing out. And that goes both ways, whether you're black and you hate white, you hate black, you're Latino and you hate brown, you're young, you hate old, you're old and you're mad that they're walking on your lawn. Whatever it is, because they play the music too loud, whatever it is, when you hate, you're missing out on what life has to offer you. And so I close with a poem from my favorite poet, Maya Angelou, Human Family. I note the obvious differences in the human family. Some of us are serious, some thrive on comedy. Some declare their lives are lived as true profundity, and others claim they really live the real reality. The variety of our skin tones can confuse, bemuse the light, brown and pink and beige and purple, tan and blue and white. I've sailed upon the seven seas and stopped in every land. I've seen the wonders of the world, not yet one common man. I know 10,000 women called Jane and Mary Jane, but I've not seen any two who really were the same. Mirror twins are different, although their features jive, and lovers think quite different thoughts while lying side by side. We love and lose in China. We weep on England's moors, and laugh and moan in Guinea and thrive on Spanish shores. We seek success in Finland, are born and die in Maine. In minor ways we differ, in major we're the same. I note the obvious differences between each sort and type, but we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. Join us next week, same genius time, same genius channel, and for whenever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Play my theme song.